In this video, I'm going to talk about bringing floors into your Revit model. I'm in my project and I have a grid of columns. It is a 4x4 grid, and I'm going to begin placing floors. I'm going to go down to the south elevation. So here are my columns, and I'm going to begin by putting floors on this level here, level 2. So to place a floor, I go to my project browser and I click on level 2. Okay, now to insert floors, there are pre-assembled floors that have varying degrees of detail. But since this particular project is really about form and space, we want to use something rather generic. So I'm going to go to the architecture ribbon and I'm going to select floor. And from the list of floors, you'll see an assortment of floor types. We want to stick with this generic 12-inch floor. So it won't define any structure or any materials necessarily on the surface or within it, but it will do nicely for the purposes of making a model which we then render. Now to construct a floor, it really depends on the shape of the floor that you have. If you would like just a simple rectangular floor area, you can use the rectangle tool up here, and I can include a few bays of my structural grid in this particular floor. One thing to keep in mind is that the floor should bear on the columns, so you would want to include whatever floor area within those columns. And then when done, you can click on the check mark. Okay, so now I'm going to go to a 3D view to take a look at the floor. And so there's the floor that I've constructed. Okay, I'll go back to level 2. Now, once you've got that floor in place, you can edit its profile by clicking on it and clicking on Edit Boundary. Okay, so I can select one of the lines of my floor and I can drag it back. I can then use the line tool or any one of these drafting tools to alter the profile. So let's say, for example, I'd like to include a portion of beam from 2 columns there. Okay, I'm going to press Escape, and then I'm going to zoom in a little closer. I'm going to make sure you're using the available snaps. I can click on a line here and drag the snap so it goes to the corner of the column, and then I can continue making changes to my grid. Now you can also, I'll go ahead and complete this particular form. All right, press Escape, click on the check mode. So now that portion of floor is done. If I want to have sort of detached areas of floor, I can just simply make another floor area. So for example, if I want to and again, it's going to center there, and I can come back and shift that as necessary. Okay, so I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to use my arrow keys to move it over a little bit. Same thing over here. This one I want to include within the column grid. So again, you can have sort of separate areas. All right, now if you want to use curved shapes or any other of the sort of more complex geometries, the process would be the same. Go to Architecture, choose a floor, and then from there use any of the drafting tools that you need.